they've been close to deserving it. Or actually not deserving it, but getting it.
Yeah.
But in any case, I think we're ready to begin, right? The pistol is live as far as you can see.
We are straight into it. Gamerlegion, they're going to be kicking us off with that CT side of Inferno. It's Art that's already able to regress down toward top of Banana. Going to be closing down that initial frag, and HS in the response, fully flashbanged and at least going to already make their way onto that B bomb site. Not able to contest just yet. Able J, he shuts down HS, a 5 versus 3, and that bomb already looking to be planted.
Indeed it is. Hampus Scream knock. They've got a tough task ahead. There is no kit, at least not that I immediately spotted. Although one of HS or Existence should have it, but this is a difficult retake for Gamerlegion. First of all, they don't really know where exactly to find those picks, but Able J is gonna serve himself on a platter. In dark on boost, it's gonna be the first to fall, second, excuse me, Vinny. In case Serrato returns though, still Hampus a knock. Serrato, what a pop. And Furia, of course, finding himself a final kill. That's gonna be the round easily for Furia. It got a little bit shaky, but it ends pretty expectedly in a way. Gamerlegion unfortunately denied their pistol round. They're on the CT side. That's a bit of a lucky break that they are able to play on the safer side of things once the gun rounds comes up. But it does complicate matters with economy, as we always say, as we always speak of. There's no really point of going into that. The bigger point is, what will they do? How will they play their anti-ecos, their full ecos? How will they play their gun rounds? Ooh, that was a bit of a... that looked like the whole thing with Crash. I got a bit of a weird screen, but never mind. So, Gamerlegion, I hope they have something in mind, or at least that they've prepared somewhat for this tournament. Or for this best of 3, perhaps. They had enough time to at least get something in mind going. Perhaps not in practice, but they are good enough to execute it after a few failed rounds, if need be. Either way, we'll see what Existence has cooked up. We're ready to go. And it's going to be, of course, pistols in Kevlar, full force Kieran. Not sure I kind of like it, but I'll see.
They're going to be an interesting force buyout of Gamerlegion. Out in the hands of Nork, we know how deadly that he can be. And Art already find himself dropped down to 11 points of health, but the majority of Fury are going to be starting to divert toward that B bomb site. Vinny already the front line, looking to at least throw out some rotations, throw the attention toward Gamerlegion. They are lingering down toward this top of Banana, and all 5 players now starting to group up. We should see again more of a standard round out of Furia themselves. Rotation coming through from Hampus at least, so he'll be having the support provided to his teammates, especially with those deagles. We know that Hampus is one of those pistol masters, and still already going to be initial damage inflicted. HS is there for the second as well. Now with the support through the smoke, it's Hampus that's able to shut down one with the nade. Low HP of Art and Gamerlegion, they'll be finding themselves a nice opening 4K. Fury down into a 1 versus 4, and yeah, they've rattled so many players through this smoke. Is Yuri able to trade into a further weapon of an MP5, but it doesn't seem like it should be making too much of an impact this time. HS will get shut down at least, and with 30 seconds on the clock, there's definitely time to work with, but it's Gamerlegion that respond with an instant round of their own and tie it up 1-1 very early here in the first map.
That's going to be a bit of a big oof coming out for Furia. Perhaps a little bit too eager to take them aggressively. Of course, we know they like to play like this. They allow Yuri and Serrato the freedom to run around and just, you know, do their own thing. But Gamerlegion, their CT side, or more so than that, their CT style has never been too bad, too shoddy. There are mistakes they make. They do kind of find themselves in one-on-one duels they can't win, or they lose and effectively lose the round on it. But the fact is that Gamerlegion do have a solid CT side when they really decide, when they really focus, and are just playing the way they know how to play. The point is, Gamerlegion, they can't be shaken down that easily. It won't be an easy opponent to break, but a beautiful boost. Art allowed the entry. That's going to work out through the smoke. Knock down. That's a pretty big pillar to fall. Hampus, though, holding the line. Refrag comes through, and a bit of a failed nade. Never mind. 4-on-4 and an 8-8 coming through short. Furia, they're looking for the kill in pit. Unfortunately, Yuri drops down to 26. An app spotted headshot. Not killed, actually. Not even a headshot. Excuse me. Minute left. And Scream, what was that? Pushing out a pit. That was a mistake. And That's the entry they needed. Now Furia will extend, and they are going to get in, they're going to get into the site. Abel J does fall, unfortunately, and then Hampus strays through the smoke. Probably hears them. Second for Hampus. It looks like Cerrado in a 1-on-3. It's going to be a bit more difficult than it seemed at the start. 38 seconds, Kieran. It looks like the round might be ending, although Cerrado, wait. Oh, wait, oh, wait.
Trade it back into a 3 versus 2. With, 2 versus 1, and with 30 seconds on the clock now. Able to retrieve himself an AUG to work with as well. Information to be gathered and trying to isolate the one-on-ones, but unfortunately this time not going to work. Gamerlegion, they take the lead. CT side 2 for 1. That will now see Furia down into their eco. Going to be investing very little into this round. That will see CT side starting to get themselves a nice little barrier to begin with early in this first map. And going into, of course, the first gun round, going to start to see what Furia can bring to us. Economy isn't as strong as they would like it to be, but a couple of nades to be invested by Furia as well to really deal too much damage in return. However, in HS, we know that Gamerlegion has a very aggressive CT side. They love to play top of banana on this map. They showed that against Offset yesterday, and it's already going to result in a first kill this time. Existence as he closes down one more onto Art. Into a 5v3 in a very simple eco round that should see very little being gained by Furia. Yuri lands himself a shot onto Nork at least and gets a 3M4 to work with, but lack of Kevlar and no support from his teammates with their weaponry should be seeing the round at least cleaned up fairly soon. And yeah, he's already spotted by Scream, picked off in a beautiful flash that sees the round shut off. 3-1 in Gamerlegion. Great start out of them so far as we see first gun round of Furia to come. They might even be able to guarantee a bomb plant, so some more money to come from this T side, and
oh, wait a second.
Fortunately not able to complete the spray. Hampus down to 20, but they'll still confirm the round and get them that 3-1.
Well, that was a little bit closer than imagined. I certainly would have hoped for Gamerlegion to be a little bit more stable in a position like this. They got the early kills. They got what they needed. Kind of unpredicted that they might jump out of apps, but they surely had to be aware that somebody could be balcony. And it got closer than it needed to be. The plant will allow a full buy with SGs and AKs for Furia. A little bit of a problem is the fact that they don't have the AWP, but I mean, they've got the rifles. They don't necessarily need to pick it up at all. And 3-1. Gamerlegion off to a good start. As I was saying, their CT side usually pretty good if they're able to focus and really just commit to a proper CT side play. 3 players towards Banana. I kind of like this. They can take Banana control deep if they wish, although it's going to be a bit of a denial counter Molotovs. HS. Yeah, it's a classic spray trying to perhaps catch an unaware opponent off. Furia, they've made their way towards top mid though. I do like this try, but they need to pop flash through. They do, and Knock is blind, can't hit the shot. Was close to it, at least. Art, immediate molly into library, and it looks like it's going to be an A wraparound. Furia have got themselves the rotation coming in. Knock, he's going to be holding from library, but they can easily smoke him off if they had. Yeah, they have one on Abel J. Scream in pit. This is a bit of a problem. Gamerlegion, they're about to be split up. One-on-one fights coming out, and if they don't win those duels, that's going to be the end of the round. Knock and Scream find each one. It's Art to refrag, though. And from Graveyard, he's got an excellent position to shoot from. HS still captures one, and it's going to be Art from Graveyard. One more, Art! There's the double. That's what you want. Art is going to shut it down, and it's going to be a 5-player shutdown, an ace, if you will. And there it is, Art. He comes out in style. And
a beautiful round from Art himself, able to anchor the rotate. Love to see Staduda as well in the crowd there. Good old Offset player, obviously going to be watching their fellow. Well, I was going to say Portuguese. They speak the same language, definitely not the same country. But even so, as we get into 3-on-2, the board looking a little more even now with the fact that you're able to put that second on the board. Don't think Art even expected that second man there. It was just perfect that they lined up for him, so he'll be able to bag himself that 3K and close out the round. This time, Gamerlegion not going to be as plentiful as they would like going into this next round. We should be seeing at least a partial investment out of the maybe pistols and Kevlar, but nothing that should be worthy of a buy round with the fact that Furia have been able to win previous, although the way that Gamerlegion, as you've mentioned, do like to control the CT side, and with the way that they're able to play, especially once they showed that against Offset yesterday, their CT side was really solid. We'll see what they can bring. They have gone for that force by at least 2 AUGs and a UMP in the hands of Scream. A couple of pistols as well, but it's Keserato that's already able to close out Nork. A beautiful nade to deal some damage as well. He is down to 20 points of health, but with a minute 35 and plenty on the clock, we'll just see the CT side maybe wanting to back away a little bit. Shouldn't be overextending themselves this time, although Furia are going to head straight toward that A-bomb site, up toward mid. Try and surprise Gamerlegion before they have the chance to rotate their 2 players over.
Yeah, it's going to be Furia pushing through long. That's it. And if they find the entry through long, Gamerlegion's in deep trouble. And there it is. Art finds one. The SG ever accurate. Straight headshot. It's an insta-kill, and now Hampus and Scream, they've got a tough job ahead of them. And unfortunately for Scream, it's not even a job, it's a death mark. It's going to be winning with one more. HS comes across with a double coming through Arches, but unfortunately it's not even close to enough. Art once more the entry on his side. That's what they needed, because if they get the kill on long A, and they isolate the 2 guys on site, they effectively allow themselves to cross onto site without being hindered in the back. Because if the guy on long can hold long enough to at least draw the other rotations in or prepare the players on site for the push, then you will find yourself in a crossfire you can't really beat. And there's many teams that have the issue of not being able to kill the player on long, then having to smoke him, then having to play carefully because he's still there. Either way, it gave no choice to Gamerlegion. And obviously losing those duels, it's going to lose them the round. It's going to be 3-3. We see Gamerlegion onto a full eco. Furia are having a pretty nice start right now, and there's a reason why they chose Inferno. They pretty much played it quite a few times in their best of 3s. They've always had a very good show. Keserato. That's it. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, should be the round itself, realistically. Keserato even able to spot a second or third man toward Coffins. They'll realize now that the Cavalry has arrived. Look at Nork, though, still inside of Nubox, but luckily Keserato able to save the life of his teammate. Scream does land a nice little Zeus in return, but then just gives some damage of his own to Hampus. A little bit scared of the flank to come through, and that's definitely the case there, as Art going to be able to close out Scream, making it a 4-on-1. 4th round on the board for Furia, and a great start out of the T slide. Now that Gamerlegion will be going back onto their full buy, it's going to see what they can bring the table. Hampus able to shut down one, but overall not going to have too much impact in the round itself. 4-3, CT side should be seeing the AWP being brought out onto Nork. All those AUGs to be purchased. Scream again. He's changed the chair. He's realized that he, wants to sit on the basic chairs.
I love it. I love it. Oh, man. When he comes out with the chair change, it
just carries the chair on with him as they're introduced.
Exactly. It's just like, this is me. This is how I'm going to do it. And I love it because I understand how much or how important it is to have a chair that fits you, that you feel comfortable in. And yeah, I mean, everybody understands that, obviously, especially in the game. But Vinny, wait a second, Existence. He's going to be punishing in the push. And finally, Furia find themselves in a bit of a precarious position. Vinny also coming out of and Boiler, not really going to get far. Hampus denies it. That's kind of the 2 kills they needed. Gamerlegion, they're going to remain calm, and Nock will find one more. This is going to work out. GL, there it is. It's a cleanup, and it's 5 people alive. Gamerlegion. See, the thing is, the one biggest issue I'm seeing on Gamerlegion consistently, or we can both say we see it, is their problem with, I guess you could say, communication or otherwise coordination amongst each other. Because usually, when we see them lose a CT side, they make a big issue out of certain rounds. They lose an entry, then they completely go into this panic mode, look to find an entry everywhere on the map, and suddenly you've lost 2 or 3 more people, and you lose the round immediately after. Now here, obviously they didn't lose anybody, but the thing is, as soon as the execution came through, everybody were ready. Everybody were pointing the right direction. We had the boost coming out on short, actually on the little wooden box on short. Then you've got, of course, one under roof. You've got one on site watching apps. You've got 2 guys already on long rotated over. And you're ready for it. And that's just because communication and coordination is key. And that's it. 4-4 Furia. They've got a rebuy, 2 Mac 10s. Let's see how well they can deal with Gamerlegion.
Furia should be going for a little bit more of a kamikaze style play just for those Mac 10s. You want to be sending those in either to close corner situations like Vinny's looking to do, or just playing a little bit more with some pace and trying to outsmart or catch off your opponents. And Vinny already being down to 40 points of health, that will significantly limit what he can do in the round itself. Arten on those Mac 10s going to be weakening the plays, but will look to try and situate themselves deep inside of apartments. Smoke will be soon fading in the next 5 to 7 seconds, and that might just see Furia beginning to execute toward the A site. Exactly that, going for more of a standard approach, and I've got to say I like to see it, although Hampus, he's already able to close down Art. That makes it a 5v4, and with Vinny still tagged, they're looking to try and inflict further damage. Scream going to play safe on the site, but that's all he needs to do when he has the support of Nork. Able J does get himself inside of pit. Thought he might have hopped up to graveyard there, but still wanting to play a little bit more safe. Molly not going to land in its intended position, but Able J to be forced out. Caterato to return a trade, and there is Able J on that Gildo to reply with one of his own. Back into a 3 versus 3 and make it a 3-on-2. Caterato, they swip the flitch, and the advantage, it's all in their favor. Luckily, HS able to nicely tap out Able J, and with Yuri down to 5 points of health, this now adds an element of uncertainty into the round, and GL, they're going to waste a lot of time. Finally, the bomb looking to be planted. In a 2 versus 2, a fairly even 2v2 as well, with both players pretty low. This is open for business as both players of GL group together for this retake.
And let's see how this one plays off, because it's a vital one. The economy on both sides is not exactly perfect. Although Gamerlegion have a bit of a buffer, it's still not ideal. They're going to have an eco if they lose this one. And Furia, Caserado, Yuri, the 2 best players you could have on this kind of position. And, well, it's going to be Existence first in. Yuri, there's the punish. It's HS, though. An immediate reply. It's a 1-on-1, both low HP. And HS, he realizes this, but Caserado, the SG, and it's the connection he makes. 5-4. Furia deny GL's important round. It should be pistols and Kevlar now. And it's another round to pound for Furia. Oh my, Caserado, what a close call.
Yeah, very nice out of Furia. Very composed in that 1-on-1 as well. Caserado did what he had to. You realize that HS were both low. All they needed was a single bullet to finish each other off. And yeah, this time is going to be Caserado that gets the job done, like you say, now that they've broken Gamerlegion. Going into the next round, this is where the side can start to make themselves a little bit of an advantage. You can see again the weaponry going to be serving them once more. And with GL on their CT side, this is where the Furia side can really hit home on their own half, for the fact that they can control the economy. They can ensure that Gamerlegion are going to be facing hardships outside of just the battles they have to take with Furia themselves. And as we do get live into the round itself, 5-4, and we can see that actually Gamerlegion have gone for a buy themselves, able to fully invest. And CT side, the AUG's already instant damage done. HS to close out a first, and that's perfect to begin with. He's already able to back off toward the bomb site. Nog going to be at least getting ready for rotating over, with the majority of Furia all down toward this B site, but they have the necessary support required. A minute 25 and all these smokes down, going to be wasting the time of Furia, but they're not going to slow down for them. Going to put themselves into a beautiful position. They spot the boost, deny it. Yuri and Vinny, that's exactly what they were looking for. A 4v3, and as they secure the bomb site plant to be made, and there is no smoke to block off Hampus. He might aggress and try and spam the coffins, but still, that spots out further info. A 4v3 retake that Gamerlegion have to try and pull off right now.
And Hampus, Hampus, he gets only the one. Caserado, he's ready for it, and that's what stops Gamerlegion even trying for the retake anymore. Now Scream is pretty far away, or at least was, so his timing would have been impeccable as always, but unfortunately for Furia, actually for Gamerlegion, they're going to be losing one more. 6-4. This is a bit of a devastating blow. This will certainly turn them onto the dark side of things. Complicates matters because... oh no, Scream, come on. That was a bit of a shame there. Scream, if he had survived with 2 rifles, or at least an AWP and an AUG, they could potentially turn the round back in their favor. They buy 2 Kevlars or 3 on the pistol to get a few pistols dropped. They've got enough firepower to stop any sort of progression perhaps, and If they get a little bit lucky, they can easily win the round afterwards. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. And oh, I might be our fans in the crowd. I love it. But Knock, here comes the peak. He's got the op, and he, well, of course, takes down Queserado. It's an entry to Gamerlegion, looks like, and Furia. Complicate matters, perhaps.
Hampus, if he slinks out of the smoke right now, that could really see him getting a nice little advantage, but it is able, Jake. He's able to strike first onto HS, trading it back into that 4 versus 4, and the rest of Furia, they'll wrap themselves around toward the A-long position as well. That means Hampus is basically deemed worthless, although look at the way that he might be able to isolate the bomb right now. Maybe not, though. Scream on his Zeus again, able to find a kill, second for him. And into a 3 versus 2 that now sees Furia diverting toward that B bomb site. They have the chance to do so, but look at Nork. He seems prepared for it, but Furia might be reading this relatively well. Oh, flicked by Nork, no. However. And as he takes down Art, luckily, I think Art has actually just used the bait. I think he just acted as bait, and now, as Vinny makes his way over toward the site, has to be careful. Yeah, he was definitely spotted there, and as the plant does go down, there's no chance for him to survive. 6-5, and Gamerlegion again holding off a round where they didn't particularly have all that much to work with.
Like I said, if you transfer a rifle and AWP into the next round, you buy a few Kevlars, a few pistols, it can work out, and it certainly did for a certain point or for a certain point in the game or the round. Now Scream, that was pretty damn good to see. And that's pretty much what saved the round there with the Zeus kill and then the AK shot on the graveyard. Denies the 2 players on site, allows enough confusion in the ranks of Furia that the rest of Gamerlegion are able to strike and finish their opponents. But right now, the round, I'd like to see if there's a full buy or not. The money should be available to Furia, so we should be seeing an op again perhaps, and maybe, yeah, of course, no op, fair enough, but SGs and AKs, that's what I wanted to see. I want to see what they do, because they failed a few times right now. And Gamerlegion, they're starting to realize how they have to play to work against Furia.
Especially on that CT side, they've really adapted to just how Furia have been playing these opening rounds. And again, that T side not particularly in too strong of a position. The same for GL, though, economically, if were to lose this round, would begin to face some difficulty. But Furia as well, as they once again try to set up toward the A-bomb site themselves. We will see Yuri getting the smoke ready to go and collect the bomb. They realize now that Nork playing constantly toward this library position. Existence will be gathered. Info on him as well as he's inside of arches. Nice grenade though. Vinny and Art, they're tagged down very, very low. As Hampus able to take out a first. A tag onto Vinny, Art through the wall as well. That sees him drop down to 5 points of health and into a 5-on-3, or 5-on-4. Nope, make it 5-on-3 now. HS closing down Yuri, and a Scream to find himself one more. And it seems like Gamerlegion have such a perfect understanding of whatever Furia are bringing to the table. Last man alive, 5 HP, and Gamerlegion, they'll be keeping most likely 5 players alive and securing the round.
Yeah, that's what should be happening. Art, 5 HP. Perhaps can take one away before he falls. Certainly it's possible, but Hampus survives. And the one thing I was looking for in this round, once the take on A was coming, was Hampus staying alive. He's the anchor. I believe it was Scream coming out through house balcony, and Hampus was in pit consistently. So if he dies, and Furia get onto site, perhaps even into pit, that's where the round gets complicated, and that's where the round could actually be won, or should have been won by Furia, or could have. The thing is, as long as Hampus is able to deny and buy time for the rest of his team, as I always say on the CT side, you can win rounds. And otherwise, things can go very dark very quickly. Now, the eco round for Furia is not really going to work out early. Winnie gets a collateral, I believe. Art as well can be killed. Kind of a problem, but it's an eco round after all.
Looking fairly simple for Gamerlegion. Going to be closing down all 5 and keeping 5 alive as well, which is perfect. They're starting to really establish a strong CT side up to now, and Gamerlegion, as they do begin progress with these next couple of rounds, the fact that they're only a single round away from winning the first half as well, going to be giving them a lot of success moving forward into these next couple. It seems like Furia, they've called themselves a little bit of a tactical pause as well, just to have the chance to discuss the next up-and-coming round. Existence and ready to command his line as well. And it's looking good for Gamerlegion so far. We came into this series, I think, not underestimating them, but potentially overestimating Furia. To the fact that they're able to, you know, play at this high level, play at the level of teams like Vitality, like Astralis.
Yeah.
But definitely when they're brought down to earth by a side like Gamerlegion, that's probably going to hit them hard. Especially, we can kind of guarantee that Furia haven't done any research on Gamerlegion, but with their hectic schedule, probably haven't focused enough on a side like GL. We know that they've been traveling to and from America to play the minor back to Portugal for this land. So they've had a couple of weeks of hectic travel, but there's definitely research that can be done very quickly just by checking a couple of VODs, and HS this time able to mow down two. It seems like Gamerlegion, they might just be finding themselves victory in the first half already. He even is switched out to a Mac 10, but still finds a kill. Damage to be done, and there's Scream to end the round itself. 8-6. Gamerlegion, they're setting themselves up for a 9th going to end this CT side. They are looking solid.
This is what you would expect out of GL's CT side. Never enough to stop. And Furia, well, the change has to come quickly if they wish to close it out 8-7 potentially. It certainly is going to be a possibility, but again, something is not going right. They're not getting those early entries, and it feels, or we can feel, I guess, how the lack of those early kills is again killing their momentum, killing their vibe. Losing against Astralis and Vitality, it might, you know, bring back bad memories and really complicate, you know, their feelings about this map. I don't know. HS, well, so far, not gonna die, and he's gonna do a few points of damage. It was actually Art that got the entry. That looked a little bit weird at the time, but it's gonna be Nog. Peeks out, gets one. That's perhaps the kill they needed. HS blinded out, still able to shut down Queserado. There's 3 players curring in through Banana. Yuri's chasing the tail. Hampus though, yeah, that's a double, that's it. Knock as well, shuts it down, and the round is gone. 9-6. That's gonna be a problem.
And really good for Gamerlegion. Second half to come, and that CT side now, Furia having to be as strong as possible. The way that they've looked so far on this first map here, Gamerlegion, they are coming out to impress. And the fact that the veto is really balanced for both of these teams. I mean, with the results comparable, probably not. But, I mean, to say that they both have similar win percentages on Inferno, 70 for Furia and 67 for Gamerlegion, just showing that the maps are pretty balanced up to now. I mean, the same for Vertigo and Overpass as well. All 3 maps in the series being played by both of these teams pretty often. So it's all about who can just play better in the rounds so far. And it seems like on this CT side, it was Gamerlegion that are definitely able to outperform Furia thus far. But as they switch over to that T side, there is definitely the randomness of the pistol round to see if they can bring anything to light here for the Brazilians. And this, where we see it begin. The kit in the hands of Yuri. A little bit of utility for Queserato as well. So he'll be looking to be the anchor player so far on the CT side. But Nork himself, smoking 2 flashbangs. And it seems like Gamerlegion, they'll be taking more of a redacted approach toward this Banana. But it's Vinny, 1-for-1 trade out early. Art to find a return kill onto Hampus, and that sees them on a 4v3, and Gamerlegion will now have to fully commit toward that B-bomb site.
Not necessarily fully, but they certainly lose 2 players for the cost of, well, everything almost. 9-6 is a good result on CT. It's their T side that was always problematic. We've explained this in the past. They do have issues sometimes with coordination, as it is on the CT side, so shall it be on the T. And it's going to show really fast. Furia, they've had time to churn through their replays of ECS and of DreamHack, most likely. They already probably looked at all the Inferno games they played and tried to discuss their issues, tried to solve their issues. And we could see that in the works right here, right now. HS Knock Scream, pushing in through arches. This is going to be a nice attempt. Yuri, though, he's on the spot. He's aware of this, and that's the important part. They have the info about this, although Yuri's not aware enough, I guess. HS takes the headshot. That's a 3-on-3. Suddenly a B play that could actually work out. Queserado behind the wall. He finds 1. He finds 2. That's enough. Knock shuts down Able J, but it's, there's the knife. Okay. Knock with the style, and it's going to be a 1-on-1. Art at 4 HP. This could work potentially. Art is close range. He's going to walk in straight in. He knows he needs to get close before Nock gets into his after plant position. Unfortunately, he sneaks into triple, spots him, and there it is. Nock, a 4K, and it is going to be the pistol taken. Gamerlegion, they're going to work it out.
I just realized Nock, whether that was intentional or not, he went for the knife, but didn't, as because Serato turned his back to try and avoid bullets or duck down or whatever he tried to do. It sort of offered him up on a plate because that backstab kills you instantly. That's going to see a really big blunder for Furia going into that pistol. 10-6, and CT side have gone for a forced buy of their own. We see MP9 in the hands of Serato. Plenty of money for that T side to go for a purchase, though. Full Mac 10s and an AK on Nock. Plenty of utility, but the same for the CT side. They'll have pistols, Kevlar, and utility in the works, but even so, with just how good that Gamerlegion might just be proving themselves to be, if they can take these next run of rounds and hit home at a 12-6 before Furia can go for their first buy round, that is really starting to add some pressure to this Brazilian side. But for now, Gamerlegion once again to employ that slow, passive style on their T side. They will be boosted up their art, wanting to try and look for an ulterior angle. And it might pay off with the fact that Gamerlegion situated towards top of middle for now, but with a minute 5 left, there is a decision that has to be made, but they've got plenty of time to do it.
Plenty of time but Art is going to find the entry. Nock. The refrag is there at least. HS at 17 complicates things for his duels. He has a gen, so he's going to have to strike true. Hampus will shut down Able J through balcony, but Yuri punishes. And Nock will return with one more. That should be the round gone, as Furia have no more chances to really keep this site alive. And Gamerlegion, 11-6. Not a bad start at all for their T side. It's the one side that was concerning me the most. It always has on most of maps like Train, Inferno. Let's say perhaps even Dust, maybe even. Although Dust does allow them for those aim duels, so it's a little bit different. But again, the problem for me, or Nuke, excuse me, I meant Nuke. The problem for me for Gamerlegion is when they get into a too comfortable spot at times, they do allow for everybody to run around, get those kills, try to go for those early entries, solo or not solo, it doesn't matter. They kind of go too aggressively around this, and they find themselves in this cycle where, I explained it before, on the CT side, they do it once, twice, then Resistance normally loses his mind, kind of rages, I mean, not rages out, just kind of goes whack on the players, and everybody kind of comes down and plays the game they want to play, or he wants to play. While on the T side, perhaps Freedom is a bit more fluent in that sense, and Gamerlegion do get, perhaps at times, a sense of pride and accomplishment when they get too many kills, if you know what I mean, and they get shut down immediately afterwards. So we'll see how it goes here for GL, but they have to keep this up. They should be able to close out Inferno, perhaps.
Yeah, there's definitely a large opportunity for them to do so, and with Furia now down into their eco, Hampus going to be just wrapping around the majority of these players, although Vinny, oh my gosh! What have we just witnessed? That round was like 7 seconds, and it's done, and Furia somehow, you can see the players, they don't even know what's happened. Serato on the end with a little bit of smile on his face, and I'm not too sure what we just witnessed, but for somehow Furia, they just won themselves a full eco.
Yes, that happened. Okay, well done, Furia. Congratulations. That is an amazing round. Gamerlegion just got bent over, and that's going to be 11-7, straight down by Winnie on Banana, and this is a smoke push by Gamerlegion, and it's exactly as I was saying. They make a mistake, they lose a round, they lose a player, then they just go ham, they try to push through smokes, through utilities, they don't try to realize what's up, how to perhaps approach a round. They had utility, they had weapons, they had rifles, and all of a sudden they are rushing Banana. That's not going to work out, not against Furia. And it's an 8 before they even know what's happening. Make it 11-9.
What a way to respond out of Furia. 5 players kept alive in that round themselves, and as you mentioned, the way that Gamerlegion try and respond to hardships in the game, they try and switch up the pace or at least bring something new to the table, but it's just not going to happen this time, and that will see Gamerlegion now fully down into their eco. It's like a little bit of a tactical pause to be called, giving that side a chance for them just discuss things going into this next round, but here it is, and Gamerlegion, they'll have literally nothing going to round number 20 with, and as you stated, this should definitely an 11-9 on the board. You've got to think as well with the way that up to now Furia have managed to not tilt Gamerlegion, but exploit them in these past couple of rounds. That could be their undoing on this T side. As you mentioned, we know their T side is a little shaky. It's not as strong as CT. That's definitely a way in for Furia, and you can keep this side clean if they can ensure that they're not losing all too many players and even rounds themselves. That's definitely where we see a great success coming out of Furia in this first map. But eco round to come, and this should be round being wrapped up fairly quickly, and 11-9 should be on the board. And I don't particularly see Gamerlegion even getting a couple of kills out of this one, so it's just how quickly Furia can wrap this one up and move into Gamerlegion's bye for the next.
Pretty much so. One thing that I've put up is Simple just a few days ago said, was it yesterday or today, I don't know, but if you don't want to play the anti-eco rounds and, well, the eco rounds properly, if you want to play like an idiot, run around the map and get kills, then why do you play CS? Why do you even try to play this game? And that's something that I couldn't agree more with. That's the core of CS. Every round matters, and even on pistols, even on full ecos, when you have just a scout maybe saved up, just a rifle saved up, why would you waste that chance to do something foolish, try and just go for quick frags and perhaps get lucky, when you can play smart and you can get definitely the advantage of, you know, outplaying your opponent? In any case, as you said, now this will not prevent Gamerlegion from losing the round. I'm just saying, you know, a consideration for Gamerlegion to take, even on their eco rounds, because usually you see them just run around and just try to die quickly. Now, a good example of what happens with good tactics, with good communication and preparation, is the round from Furia, running down mid. That was a prepared tactic. That is not a tactic that they specifically set up against GL. That was something they have set up against full buys with full ecos, and it works perfectly. It timed out perfectly, and maybe it was a random fluke, but it did work out. 11-9, and it's now up to GL to be able to push their advantage longer than just, you know, a few rounds after the pistol.
It's going to come down to this one, especially considering that Gamerlegion now, they're getting to that point where Furia, they're right back in that driving seat, the momentum beginning to switch in their favor, and already it's a first kill by Art onto Hampus, opening it up with a 5-on-4, and this is where Furia, they will work best. As soon as they have that advantage, they know that Gamerlegion want to try and get a response out of this, and they'll just keep Art toward the top of Banana. That's all they have to do right now. They have enough info to be gathered because of it. The rest of Gamerlegion liberating their movements back and forward from that A-bomb site, and it seems like now they will begin to dedicate towards middle. The smoke slow them down for now, but that doesn't stop Gamerlegion. We know that. Sometimes they do like to aggress through those smokes, and there it is. Art does take down one, but it's Scream able to return with one of his own. Vinny does have that SG picked up from T side at least. Flash is good, and blinds temporarily allows the reposition of Vinny to come toward Coffins. And Caserato, he's in support as well. Got baited by the chicken there. A little bit of adjustment coming out from him, and there's the Molotov smoke that blinds the position of Vinny. That will make him such a strong asset inside of Ruin. Scream and HS find 2 kills of their own, however, but I don't think Yuri would have been expected. Although he is now. There's Scream to rip his head off. And into a 1 versus 1. Caserato has to clutch this out, has to try and make a play, and he knows where Scream is now toward Banana. Wants to try and tap the defuse, maybe looking to go for the stick as well. Oh my gosh!
Scream spots him.
But Scream able to get it done. Very close call. He nearly had that stuck, but Scream has been in this game too long to know about that, and that's going to be 12-9. GL, they put a T-side round on the board.
Yeah, that's one important round. Scream clutches it, and he gets himself a medal for that. Most likely should. I mean, that was a saving grace for Gamerlegion. As I said, if they aren't able to progress the advantage, they are going to be struck down. Furia would have risen from the ashes with new economy, and they would have completely devastated the GL line. And luckily, Furia have a rebuy, but this will be their last one. If they lose the round here, then it's probably going to be 14 to GL. Whilst if GL lose, obviously a loss will mean Furia finally get to double digits as well as potentially 11. But it still gives them a tiny bit of chance that they can take the advantage within the few rounds that will be left. But here we go, Hampus in house, looking to aggress towards a site. Oh, that's okay. I was expecting that. Then he sprays through the smoke. Existence going to be caught in the wind, and that's a problem. 10 seconds to the minute. Oh, okay, that's a fast refresh. What, the bomb? HS, no, the bomb! No! Gamerlegion, what are you doing? Knock will refract, but that's the bomb drop still. Doesn't matter what's happening. Caserado, the best position to be in. The smoke, the bomb, everything. It's going his way. Art on mid. There it is. And Furia. That's a free round. Knock, a 1-on-2. It's not yet done. 42 seconds. He's got time to retrieve it. And Caserado's looking to get punished. This is a problem. He's going to get shut down. Knock! The spray transfer. A bit too soon, and Art will punish. 12-10, Furia. They've done it again.
Once again, able to close down a very close round out of Gamerlegion. It's getting down to the 1v1s and the 1vx's where it really comes down to it. And yeah, like you say, HS sort of sacrificing the bomb meant that they couldn't really get too much out of the round itself, because all they had to do was try and retrieve that bomb and not happen. You can see the coach behind Existence commanding, giving his input, wanting to see HS, the rest of his side, beginning to perform. It was a silly mistake to make, but it's one that can definitely be corrected, one that doesn't just yet decide the fate of the game. As we do witness Gamerlegion, they will be going into this next round at least a little bit disadvantaged. Their money isn't as strong as they would like, around $2,000 on the side themselves, and that's going to be limiting in what they can purchase. So Furia, they should be in with a great chance of being able to go into a 12-11 scoreline, make it probably as close as possible before they go into the bye round again. Some Furia fans in the crowd there, no, always nice to see, but against pistols, this time Furia, they should have an easy time being able to whittle down this round again. Gamerlegion, though, they've adjusted to how Furia play their ecos. They're not going to be fully dedicated toward the topper ramp this time, but still with Furia already taking the majority of map control, and I think Art does hear the first man toward the stairs, although with Vinny able to find himself a first, Art with that USP to close out Nork. The damage already being done, and that should be the round loss. The grenade not escapable. Ampus down to 34, and a simple shutdown from that CT side to get the job done. Able J with the 3K, Furia 12-11, and it's only now a single round away from finding victory.
Pretty much so. Furia, that is going to work out perfectly. As I said, economy going to start rising back up, and that one round, that one mistake GL make, that's the issue. It's gonna really bring a lot of trouble for them. We can see the money is pretty low, and they're going to be able to at least contend against the AWP. But Art spots down Banana, misses the shot. It's Vinny still to get one though. Hampus, nicely done. The refrag is there. Hampus, second one as well, keeps on spraying. Is able to keep it together, and Gamerlegion, now you've got 2 entries. Do not choose to hunt more, please. There is no need. Gamerlegion, you've got 2 entries. That's more than enough. You even hit Yuri. All you have to do is calm down. See what you have available to you. How many smokes? How many flashbangs? How many Molotovs? What positions you can overtake safely? And then decide where to go. Don't just run into a site. You will be destroyed. And Furia, they're making the judgment call. They're all rotating towards A. I believe it's possible Hampus heard them, but if they run into 3 players here, Furia could still be able to win this round. 56 seconds remaining, counting down, and Gamerlegion, they're choosing to go A. Let's see how it's all gonna work out for GL.
Able to wrap their way through towards CT spawn as well. They've absolutely duped the mind out of Furia right now. They're already wrapping around toward that B bomb site, and the final 3 players of this CT side have already dedicated towards A. They made that full rotate commit. As soon as that bomb is planted, that should just see Furia going for the save. They shouldn't be attempting any sort of retake in this coming round. Just carry the rifles over into the next, and that is exactly what they do. But Gamerlegion, they're now up to a 13-11. Luckily, Furia will be able to put another buy on the board for the next round. They're not going to be fully out of range just yet. They'll have Fury being able to drop at least onto Art. They might even bring out an AWP if Vinny has the money for it and give him a rifle in return. So it's going to be possible for Fury to bring out that rebuy. But Gamerlegion, I think they've performed better than any of us expected, or at least myself in this game coming into it against Furia, a top 5 side that have just in the past 6 months or so proven themselves to be such a solid LAN asset. But again, with an unpredictable team like Gamerlegion, you can never really take for granted that you're going to have an easy time against a side like this, with the plays like Nork and HS always a factor of unpredictability. But 13-11 now, with that CT side able to get that rebuy back on the board. We should be seeing maybe attack pause to discuss things on that CT side as well. But Gamerlegion, it's getting to that point where if they win one more round or so, they're going to start to really feel the grasps and the clutch of a 14th and 15th round, almost confirming the first map itself.
I think the answer here could be getting hot in here, because Furia, the fire has started burning. It's no longer just a little spark. It's about to be a huge-ass fire they can't put out. Their money is on the line. Their entire first map is on the line almost. If, of course, Gamerlegion are able to pick up a victory right here, right now, that would straight propel them into the map point. And it will be difficult for Furia to stop that. In any case, it's a full buy. 5 Augs, full utility. That's what you wanted to see. 3 players on Banana. It works out. Hampus first out, mollied, and he dies. Vinny, he gets himself the first. HS will be burning alive. Needs to fall back, and that's a great start. Furia once more find themselves one. Look at this. They pull back. They don't aggress towards Banana anymore. There's no reason to. They don't want to sacrifice a single player. They've got one for free. That's like winning the lottery in CS. Whenever you get a free kill, you should treat it like it's the lottery. Carefully invest it into a bank. Let it be there for a long while. Make sure you pay your taxes and all. That's what you want to do. Not just buy a million tickets more for the lottery itself, because you're never going to win again. And yeah, 13-11. Furia, they've got themselves the entry. Now they have to play the patient game and Gamerlegion. Unless they have something prepared and some ace up their sleeve, this is going to be a heartbreak and a hard act to take.
The way that Furia, they've read entirely that Gamerlegion would now pull back toward that ace site, although Scream and Vinny, 1-for-1 trade. It's HS again. It's able to respond. Able J gets caught off, but it's Nork. Respond once again, down into a 2 versus 2. We have the rotate of Keserato coming in from CT Ruins, or Archer's position. Flank of Art coming from the bottom of mid as well. It's going to take a few seconds for Furia to be able to reach the bomb site themselves. Give the final 2 players of Gamerlegion chance to reposition and look at Nork right now. As soon as Art approaches, a free kill for him and isolates Keserato. He might even go for the save at this point, and that looks exactly the case. Gamerlegion, as they put 14 on the board with no money or very little bank left on that CT side, we might just be heading to map point for this Gamerlegion side, and they are really starting to hand it to Furia right now.
Yes, they are, and with Vertigo being the second map, it begs the question, as we put it before the game started, has Gamerlegion prepared for Vertigo? But, again, the ace up the sleeve, Knock, for me personally, one of the better players to come out of the youngest, not the youngest, but at least from the scene, the younger scene, the tier 3, tier 4, tier 2 scene. And certainly he is on the rise. He's been a consistent player on GL. He's always been hitting those crazy shots. We've watched him countless times, and it's always been just nothing short of brilliance. And it's going to be an eco round for Furia, as we expect. And that's 15-11, at least should be. And it's all coming down to this Gamerlegion. They've got themselves the chance to close out the game. Now, can they? Let's hope they don't repeat the mistakes of their, I guess you could say, close teams in terms of starting points when they were starting. You know, Chaos or the old Swedish lineups were close to how they operated. And those teams had issues closing out rounds. And Gamerlegion, when they started their run, once they started their roster, it was equally so a problem for them. Right now, this should be 15-11. unless they want to just get destroyed in turn.
HS putting 2 on the board already. They almost confirming, even with a minute left on the clock, that this should be 15-11. The support by Hampus inside of balcony gets it done, and that's going to be 15 rounds on the board by Gamerlegion. Isarato, again, just trying to save his AUG into the next round. I'd almost love to go and see Hampus and HS hunt. I think that's exactly what they're going to do right now. They do not want Isarato saving anything into the next round, and as soon as they work out his position, they should be then sending the rest of the cavalry in to make sure that he doesn't get away with it. And little flashbang to go in. Isarato able to find a first. He might not expect a second, and there it is, but still HS to be shut down. Isarato at least making some damage on the exit, but you can see Gamerlegion, they're hungry. Try and hunt down this final man. They do not want to let him save that AUG, but it looks like as they still have 10 seconds to be able to shut him down. Damage to be done, but again, Scream, he's now left pretty low. Might not want to over-aggress any further. 15-11. Eastside now a single round away from finding victory and securing map number 1. Again, Furia's better map. A map that they've proven on Inferno is very, very confident for them. But this time, Legion, they've just shown up with a different sort of presence. And you can confirm this. If you can get this on the board, like you say, going into Vertigo, that is going to really crack the door wide open on this series.
It would be a pretty big upset if Furia were to lose against Gamerlegion on LAN and against Gamerlegion. That's how you can put it, and we'll see if that can happen. Gamerlegion, this would be their breakout point. For me, if they're able to win this LAN or at least go past Furia into the grand finals, then they should be winning this tournament. End of story. Shouldn't really be a big problem for them afterwards. No matter how you spin it, though, Furia still are not done, and it's going to be the last buy for them. It's the full investment. As you said, the save will allow the AWP to be bought up as well, and that's going to be a crucial weapon for Furia if they decide to use it. Obviously, that's the other question. But never mind that. Nock's already gotten the entry. We didn't see it. Art falls, and did he have the up or not? I'm not sure, but Furia, well, they lose the entry. Gamerlegion off to a perfect start.
Yeah, it looks like Art did definitely have that AWP. Has been retrieved and handed over to Isarato, but you say with the entry going in the favor of Gamerlegion, that will now force the CTs to adjust their setups. With the fact that Gamerlegion, again, going to be not even dedicating toward the bomb sites yet, they're still looking for that information, and the way that they've been able to, on this map themselves, just work off of the picks that they've got, it's been perfect. Isarato close on the front line, however, looking for that info, and as you at least realize the AWP has been recollected, be backing away, wanting Isarato to remain safe on the site. There is partial rotation being made by Vinny, but they've pulled away from that and haven't been fully dedicating him toward the B bomb site as of yet. Hampus is still making a nuisance up toward the top of middle, maybe providing a rotate opportunity for his side, and that might be exactly what they're looking to do. 30 seconds on the clock. This is now where Gamerlegion have to bring out that execution. They have a couple of smokes to work with, a few Molotovs and some flashbangs. There's definitely enough in the pipeline for Gamerlegion to work with now, but as time begins to tick, this retake, this execution has to be a little rushed by GL, but they're already onto the site, and Hampus finds himself one, make it two, and it seems like the round and the game is already going to be confirmed. A 5 versus 2, and Gamerlegion, they've done the impossible in map 1. They've taken away Inferno, and what a way to be able to wrap it up.
What a way to open a semi-finals, the second one. One hell of a performance. Very happy to see Gamerlegion be in good spirits, in good positions. Vinny will try his best, but he's shut down, and Isarato, a 1-on-4, excuse me, and